times I've been getting like a curly cut.
Okay.
But I am kind of over like the whole shag kind of cut, so if you can just make it look pretty straight. Because usually I used to straighten it all the time.
You normally wear it straight?
Yeah, it's just for like maybe the last maybe year or so. I've been trying to embrace my curls.
Okay.
But I straightened it the other day, and yeah, you know, it doesn't really look good that straight. But here, let me just see it.
You just want to like shape it up, just trim it?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I'll do it so you can wear it both ways, curly and straight.
That would be fine, yeah, exactly. Usually I don't get the best of both worlds.
Okay, something more blended.
Yes.
Could you tell me about your color history?
I've only gotten it highlighted before.
Okay.
And
was there anything wrong with it?
No.
You liked it? Okay.
It's just, I guess over the years, but now that it's more gray, they just try to make it really blonde. And I'm just kind of over like maybe the blondness in it. So
by blonde, are you talking about the warmth?
Maybe the warmth, I think.
The yellow?
Maybe.
What else did you not like about the last color? Did you like the placement?
Everything's been fine with when I get it done.
What do you feel like it's different from the photo that you showed me? Like you're looking for this time versus last time?
Just more blended, I guess. Like what are you gonna do? Like blend the existing hair into the gray that's already there? Because like I do like some of the gray, and I do like so I do like that.
Are there any areas that bother you right now in your hair? When you look at it?
No, other than
you just want to enhance what you currently have so it looks like it's done.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But the yellow in the last color is what was bugging you, the warmth of the highlight?
Yeah, I've just always had the same, I guess, color looking to it. So I don't know, I guess maybe I'm looking for maybe something a little.
Okay. Now, when you want the color to be more enhancing, it seems like you have more gray up here. There's some depth back here. Do you want me to add some lighter pieces throughout the ends here? Is it feeling dark in these pockets?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, but nothing too light? Because the photo you showed me is a lot lighter than the placement that you had previously, like how this has been growing out. Like it seems like they left a lot of depth here. But in that photo, it looks like that lady has pretty much like
all the way through.
Yeah, it's blended all the way through.
Right.
But if you like feeling more natural and like you like your natural depth, you can just add a little bit to enhance it, so it's not too light like the photo. Because the photo, she has it pretty light on the ends.
Right.
Yeah. If you pull it up, I'll show you.
And I understand. Yeah, and I think like when I first was texting you, I should probably look at that because I think that was maybe when I was.
The first one.
Yeah. When I probably had a better. Well, no, I guess they were kind of the same. I did get my hair cut since, by the way, since 2 months ago.
So you see how there's a lot more color on the ends versus what you previously had. Do you like that?
I do, and like you said, it could be just a little
bit,
right?
Yeah, so that it grows out soft, nothing harsh. Hers is a lot more solid than the other photo above it. You want to keep it within the top photo rather than the bottom?
Yeah, probably. And I do like the
face frame?
Yeah, because I do kind of have that already.
I would recommend that. Usually too in the face frame, when I make it lighter, I don't just make it lighter here, I'll even make it lighter in this area too. It seems like you're a little bit lighter. So it's going to have that connection towards where the ends get lighter too. So it'll be like that little bit, like it'll be gradual for it to be light, but then gradually get a little bit lighter towards the bottom. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll keep it more dimensional in the back and nothing too solid or anything like that.
Yeah,
okay, and then as far as the tone, would you prefer a more like violet gray tone or a more gray beigey tone?
I see you. I watched your videos with all the violet, and I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever you.
Okay. Does violet or gray scare you, or like?
It doesn't.
It doesn't? Okay, then I would say do that because it's gonna last you a little bit longer, and then you see how it fades out. And if you want to do the other one, you can do the other one next time.
Okay.
And then you can see which one you prefer.
Okay.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this week I have a new client who is wanting to do more of a gray blending enhancement. So she does have some previous highlights on her hair. The good thing though is that she doesn't have any permanent color. She just has highlights, and I believe she gets her hair done maybe once a year. I would say we're going for more of like a dimensional placement, something that's going to grow out really soft against what she currently has to just keep it very low maintenance for her. And so right now I'm going to go in and pretty much just like detail the back and that hairline bit, and I am doing a weave around the hairline. And like we said in the consultation, I did want to break up the back area because I just felt like the color looked a little disconnected when she brought her hair forward. I typically, even though if I do a partial on a client, will want to just add a few foils around the hairline behind the nape, because when they wear their hair forward, this kind of frames their face around their neck area. So I normally just don't like the look of where the bottom looks darker than the top, so I always try to add a little bit of color, even if I'm just going to pop in one foil around the hairline for any type of color placement I do. So one of the main things that she didn't love about her last color is that it faded out kind of golden for her. And although any type of highlight that we do will fade out yellow, I did feel like some of the pieces that were blonde weren't as light as they could be, considering that her hair, other than the highlights, was virgin. So I want to make sure that we try and get her hair as light as possible, but also in the most safe way possible. And what that means is just putting a little bit less stress on her hair. So I am using the Danger Jones powder lightener for this, and this lightener is formulated with Bonder. So since this lightener is formulated with Bonder, it really gives me peace of mind that the integrity of the hair is going to stay intact. So I typically don't use anything higher above 20 volume for any of my hair transformations, because this lightener is just so amazing at lifting even the darkest levels of hair and the coarsest textures of hair. And so with her hair texture, I would say it's more of a medium texture, and it does have her dark that is naturally, I would say her pepper is probably a level 4 or so. And so we are working with some dark pieces that are going to be a little bit more on the stubborn side against her gray. And so that first spool, I typically will make something that is close to a 10 volume, and then the rest of the head I am going to switch it up and just use a standard 20 volume for everything else. So as I'm going into, if you are new here, I normally will split the back into a mohawk section and then continue it all the way up until I get towards the front. So since we're going to be doing one more an enhancing placement, we are spacing these foils out a little bit more, meaning that's going to leave a little bit more dimension. But because we want to get a really good lift and try and get her as light as possible, but also in the best way possible, I'm trying to create sections that are very thin and see-through. That's going to ultimately give you the best lift and just the cleanest lift possible without leaving too much warmth behind, even though her hair is on the darker side. I feel like when you add too much hair into a foil, sometimes that can create some warmth in the hair. And then I also feel like if the hair is a little bit on the thicker side, like the foils like I did in the back versus the foils in the front, the hair in the back of the head is a little bit coarser than the frontline hairs. So the front hairline hairs, I do like to fold the hairs up because they are a little bit finer. I need something to kind of lock that in. But as you can see right now, I'm starting to kind of lay my foils right on top of each other flat, and that's just gonna help keep the lightener to stay put. I feel like when the hair gradually starts to get a little bit thicker and a little bit coarser, I like to rather lay my foils and sandwich them versus folding them up like I did at the hairline. And again, that's just a personal preference of mine. I feel like it just works well with darker hair. If I was working on hair that was maybe a level 7 and up and a little bit more of a finer texture, I might not have to worry about it too much, folding up the foil and having the product to move around, creating that warmth. But because we are working with darker levels, I find that this works best for me when I come across a section of the head that has hair that is a little bit coarser. I do feel like laying the foils flat like that does make a difference in saturation and lift when trying to get the hair as light as possible and trying to get the cleanest lift possible as well too. Now, if we were doing a brunette color on her, you could totally fold up the foils. If there was a little bit of warmth, you could easily tone that out and even out the canvas. But since we are going for more of a silver look that is trying to match and enhance her hair and match her gray pattern as much as possible, I want to take that extra mile and pay attention to those little details to ensure that her hair does get that clean lift, and we try to avoid any of those little bits of warm spots, because when doing and working with grays and silvers, it makes a huge difference in your end result when you get a really clean, even lift with every foil that you do. So since she has a bit of a more silver pattern towards the hairline, I did my foils a little bit closer together. I did more of a weave pattern around her hairline just to kind of help blend. And then after my hairline money piece weaves, I did do a slice after for a diagonal back on the hairline just to kind of create that look to where the front is a little bit lighter. But then now I'm working up and covering up those sides. I did a weave above the ear, and now I'm continuing my slicing pattern, but these slices again are going to be very paper thin to ensure a really good clean even lift. And then I'm also taking into consideration that we are doing a more enhancement placement, so we are leaving a little bit more of her natural depth in between. And the way I determine how much I space out these foils for a more natural enhancement look really depends on their gray pattern. So I kind of just assess based off of how much gray they have versus pepper and decide what would ultimately blend the best and get the most longevity as far as the blend. So some of the hairs that were her previous highlights, I did not overlap them in the foil. So now that I'm pulling out her foils, I am going to just let the lightener sit on those previous highlights for a little bit until they've reached the level 10 that we need. So for her toner formulation, I am going to use the Danger Jones gloss toners for her root shadow. I mixed up a 5-1 with a 6-01. This is going to create a more grayish tone. And then for her lighter ends formulation, I'm going to be using the Danger Jones artistic toners. So since we're going to be doing more of a violet colored silver, we are using the Danger Jones artistic toners in silver and violet blonde, and the violet blonde is going to help make that silver a little bit more on the purpley side so that it does last a little bit longer. With the silver toners, they fade out so fast on anybody's hair because it is such a light toner and it is more ash based, and so it tends to feel like it washes out quite fast against warmth. And so I always typically like to try and create a look that is going to be the most pigmented version of any of my clients' goals so that they get the most longevity out of every color.
I like it.
It feels good?
Uh-huh.
Yay!
Wow.
As well. Yeah, and
It's finally not blonde when I'm done.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice. I don't even notice any purple or anything.
When it's wet, you can see here.
Yeah.
If you look right at the root, like the slightest hue
Yeah.
in those highlighted pieces.
Uh-huh.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look. I absolutely loved it. It definitely looked like her natural hair, which is totally the point. I feel like this blends really well, and as this fades out, this will fade into more of like an ash blonde before it fades completely yellow, but she can help maintain the tone before it gets completely blonde with using some purple shampoo and maybe a purple mask. Sometimes some clients feel like after a while they'll just pop in for a toner, but other than that, this is going to grow out really soft against her natural, and we were able to kind of trim up her hair and clean everything up so she could wear it both straight and curly. Alrighty guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments, but that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.